everybody. This is Shantae, and this is Live with Shantae, episode 14. And I'm sitting with Tamara Crawford. She has a modeling agency. It goes by Talent Model Management, all right? So, what made you, matter of fact, let's start off like this, because I was finna get right into it. I ain't gonna do it like that, okay? Because we didn't know who you are. I was finna get right into it. Okay, so, who is Tamara?
Just a country girl with some city dreams. I say that all the time. I'm born and raised in Corsicana, Texas. Been there all my life. I've moved around a few times. I'm a go-getter, and I say entrepreneur. You know, as long as I got my hands, I can always create. I'm always have a job, regardless of where I go, where I live. I've been doing hair for the last 25 years, so just adding on beauty, hair, it all kind of ties in together. Mother of two grown daughters, Tamara Crawford, she works with me, Kayla Wilson, she's a basketball coach and she teaches up in Mesquite, and my two granddaughters. So that's just my little small circle of my family of who I am. And then my husband, Alan Biley, he's out of Arkansas, and we've been married for 8 years now. So just a little bit about me, that's just who I am, just a country girl with some city dreams.
So, country girl with city dreams. Explain it. Let's get into it, because I know what you mean. But, you know, the audience might not know exactly what you mean. So, just explain that a little bit.
Well, being from a small town, a small area, it's kind of hard to do certain things as far as in this industry of what I'm in. I don't care if it's music, the modeling, what you're doing, the podcasting. If you want to grow your audience and you want to grow out of certain areas, you have to think outside the box. Some people just think, oh, Corsicana, and they feel like that's their audience. That can't be your only audience. So if you want to grow your audience, you have to think outside the box. You know, you have to think outside of Corsicana. You have to think, you know, Japan, Europe, Africa, you know, just worldwide. And that's one thing that I try to create, because sometimes we get complacent in a place to where we live and where we're at, and it's so easy to get stuck there, you know. And most people just afraid. They're afraid to step out on faith, you know, step away from all they know. And sometimes you just got to take that step and don't worry about it. If you fall, just get back up and do it again. So, you know, being this way and starting out young, especially as a hairstylist, I felt like that, and I was afraid. I was afraid to leave Corsicana. Like, I really, literally did not want to leave where I was from, because I didn't think I was going to be able to make it outside of where I was. So just being able to have that faith over fear, it just opened a whole lot of doors for me.
So why do you think that is? Because I think I'm that way. I'm not necessarily scared to leave out of Corsicana, but it's kind of like I'm kind of comfortable in a sense.
Cause you know, we get complacent in where we're at and what we're doing. And now with this day and time, you don't have to leave. And I'm gonna tell you why, because social media is huge. And you can do everything from just behind your computer, your camera, whatever you're doing. Back then, you know, we didn't have all that. You know, in the early 90s, you know, you had to get out and travel and move around. You know, I'm licensed in 5 different states: Louisiana, Georgia, Arkansas, you know, Texas. So I can travel with doing hair and still be able to work. So I didn't want to have a job. I wanted a career. So what I'm doing now, it's really not a job, it's a career. So I can take it wherever I want to take it. So same with what you do. You can take it wherever you want to take it, because you shouldn't consider it as a job. It's something that you're putting your time and effort into, and it's going to be a career to where it doesn't matter, because now they do everything online to where you can interview somebody from halfway across the world and still get the same response that you're getting from me, and we're right here sitting in the same room with one another. So now it's a little bit easier for people. They just have to take that chance and take that risk and say, hey, I'm ready to do it, and I'm just going to put my mind to it and do it. And I'm the type of person, I'm very cheap. A lot of people don't know that. I will cut out the middleman in a minute and teach myself how to do it as quick as I can. And it's not just about saving money, it's just about teaching myself my own skills to where, hey, if something needs to be done, I don't have to go and try to find somebody to get it done for me. I'm gonna do it myself.
And that's how I am, and that's why I try to learn. I learned how to edit my own videos.
Yes.
Because I'm like, if he can't do it for me, I need to. The video still gotta go out. Like, so I still need to be able to edit my own videos, stuff like that. So I 100% agree with you on that. Now, you said career versus a job. Break down the difference for us.
I know you guys are enjoying this episode, but we want to take a time out just for a second and show you our curl control treatment made by Beautiful by Nature. And this is our hairline product that we've created here. We have our kids line. We also have our men's line here and our women's line. So we can cater to everyone and make sure that we meet everyone's needs. Stop by, take a look, and make sure you keep your hair clean. Being on a 9 to 5, if I gotta go hit a clock every day, I'm not able to pour into myself, to pour into my skills, to pour into my talents the way I need to, because I'm stuck on a 9 to 5. Now, don't get me wrong, I did a 9 to 5 for like a whole 2 years plus my side just to build this so I could walk away from that one. And it took some time to get there, but I finally got to that point to where I could walk away from that $50,000 job without feeling like I was gonna just lose everything. You know, and sometimes we have to make sacrifices, and that's what I did. I just cut everything off, went to basic bills, got me a 1-bedroom apartment, and I made it happen. So people look at me and be like, oh, you got all the money? Nah, we make it happen every day. They don't know an entrepreneur's job. It's not easy at all. You know, it ain't like you got money just laying around in the bank. You invest in yourself. So if I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my time, my energy, to maybe one day, well, to know that one day that it'll all pay off. And, you know, I'll be leaving a legacy, something for my family, my kids, to have, you know, hopefully they'll keep it going once I'm gone. But, you know, it is what it is when it comes to that part.
So you said you only worked 9 to 5 for 2 years. So is that your entire life?
No.
Or okay, I'm like, Lord.
No, since I've been back in Texas.
Okay.
Because I relocated to Arkansas and took a job as a director over barber schools and beauty schools up there. So I was making that 5-hour drive because I was in the process of opening my own school. So driving back and forth, but you know, when you don't have that income like that, and I didn't want to take out any loans, I didn't want to have to owe anybody nothing. So me and my husband, we used our own money and poured it into our own business. So therefore, I don't owe anybody anything. You know, all I got is, you know, I don't have overhead. All I gotta do is keep the lights and water running.
So let's talk about that. You didn't want to go get any loans, business loans. Why do you believe that getting a business loan is like a no-go?
Well, for me, because it depends on the type of business you're actually trying to run. Because if I had an entire team to where I was having to pay people, then that would have been different. Then I would have said, hey, maybe I need some loans, because that type of money, you have to kind of create different avenues of income. And if you don't have different avenues of income coming in, it's hard to where you dish your money out all the time, but you don't have any coming in. So the time that I don't have money coming in, it's fine with me. I can go with that. But you're going to have to pay them employees if you have employees working for you. So that's just my mentality. And a lot of times people tell me that's the wrong mentality, but it works for me. So I don't have, you know, I sleep good at night, you know, knowing I don't owe nobody anything, knowing, you know, I don't have those issues. And like I say, I'm more like the behind the scenes person. I really could care less what other people do or how other people move. I just got to know to stay focused on what I'm doing and know it's working for me. And you know, it's feeding me and my family on the way I create things. And that's one of the reasons I really created the talent model management, is because when that pandemic hit, you know, they shut us down completely. We couldn't work. We couldn't do anything. So that took like half our income away completely. So I had to just go off of, you know, my husband's income, and it was stressful on him trying to keep stuff going, knowing, hey, we don't have money coming in. They shut the school down, you know, they shut the salons down, so we couldn't work at all. And at that point, it made me realize you have to do more than just stand behind a chair. You know, you have to do more than just sell a service to somebody. Sometimes you might need to sell products or something different like that to keep stuff going. So that's why I created my own products. I got creative real fast, real quick, and it was like, hey, if I ever have to shut down again, I still got to be able to have some type of income. So with that, we created our own magazine. My kids are writing their own children's books. You know, we're going to put them up on Amazon. Just making these different avenues of income so we can have passive income on one side to where we know, hey, and it's not just for me, it's for them too, because like I tell my parents, if they're doing this for a long time, eventually something's gonna have to change. We can't keep going down the same road and doing the same thing and not getting anything from it. Because you don't really make money in runway at all. Most people that walk the runway, they don't ever get paid to walk the runway. You have to pay people to walk the runway. So that's how it's actually set up. And the reason I started is because I had a lot of parents start bringing their teenagers to me saying, oh, my child had low self-esteem. Can you just do a photo shoot with them and, you know, just make them feel better? And that's one reason I wanted to really get into modeling, because for African Americans, you don't see a lot of us.
Okay, now let's talk about that. Let's talk about why you started and how you started your agency. All right?
Well, we're not an agency. I wouldn't call us an agency. I would call us a management team, because with an agency, you don't pay to be with an agency, and then the agency finds you jobs. So what we do is a little bit different. We teach and train our young people to where they can go and get these jobs, to where they can go and sign with an agency if they choose to, or they can go, you know, do casting calls for different commercials or TV shows or things like that. That's part of our job on what we're actually doing. And one of the reasons I started it, because like I said, it's hard for African Americans to tap into this industry. And you have to either be from Africa, and I'm just being honest, or you have to be skin tone darkest tar, and they'll have one model, maybe one or two on the runway that looks like us. And it's sad to say, and I do know some people are breaking down doors and breaking down barriers now as far as, you know, tapping into the industry, but it's still hard. Especially if you want to model for some of these high-end, like Vogue, or I know Gucci is one that don't represent us a lot, Louis Vuitton, different places like that. It's hard. It's really hard for African Americans to tap in. And a lot of these young kids, if you start them young and rear them to where they grow up, it also helps with their self-esteem. You know, a lot of them have been bullied, picked on, they have different issues. We have one with autism, we have one with trisomy, like Down syndrome. I have one with albinism, you know, so it's just different things like that with these young kids. And I can see the change in them, their personality, their self-esteem, how they interact with other people. I see that change even in the young ones.
So you guys are going to Florida here soon, right?
Yes, we've been walking with the same modeling, what do they call themselves? Like a company for the last 3 years. We've been to New York twice, and we're going to Florida. We've been invited to Paris, but like I say, 2023, I think I'm going to put that on my bucket list to get us to Paris one way or another. And it's just, you know, the funds, getting everything raised. I think a plane ticket right now run $3,000 by itself, you know, to get to Paris. So, you know, like I said, that's in the books, and we might not take such a big group just so we can say we made it to Paris. We might just downsize, you know, take whoever can go and try to get us to Paris. So Florida Fashion Week is coming up July the 23rd through 25th. We're actually going the 18th because we're going to make it a vacation. You know, these kids have worked so hard, and I want them to go and have fun and enjoy themselves. You know, we're taking them to Disney. We're going to visit the Black historic colleges down there, you know, go to the beach and relax. We just want to have fun and let them know, you know, all their hard work is actually paying off. It's paying off. I have a few new ones with me, so this will be their first time. So I just want to kind of see how they're going to interact on the runway, you know, to see if it's really for them, if they'll, you know, like it or keep it and pick it up. And I think it's just going to be fun and exciting.
So I've noticed that you have boys as well as girls. Now, how did you get to the process of adding boys?
boys are kind of hard because men don't like being in front of the camera. I mean, from men to teenagers to smaller guys, they kind of steer away from the camera. Some of them think it's girlish, but it's not. It's a lot of male models out there. So I wanted to start incorporating young men off in there also. I've worked with a few older guys in the past, and I've worked with teenagers too. But after that pandemic hit, because we had to close down completely, I kind of revamped everything, and I said I'm just going to start with the kids right now. So I've had a few young men work with me, but I think it's a big opportunity for young men also to go out there and pursue their talents. You know, I don't know if you saw the little video we did. We did our Hot Kids Summer video. I'm a lit kid. Got my heart racing. We are about to have some fun. It's a Hot Kids Summer, you know we lit. It's a Hot Kids Summer. To where, you know, my daughter wrote the rap, and we rented out the media blog, and we just went in there and just shot a video, just a little music video. And we was at the skating rink the other night, and they were playing at the skating rink. So it was just something fun. The kids really enjoyed it. I just want them to see that they can do whatever they want to do. If you want to be a musician, be a musician. If you want to be on TV, be on TV. If you want a model, be a model. If you want to be a doctor, be a doctor. I don't care what it is. I don't want them to be limited to a lot of things that, you know, I didn't know growing up. As far as especially doing your own job, being your own boss, doing your own thing. You know, we were always taught, you graduate, you go to school, you go get you a 9 to 5, and that's the life. That's not the life. That's not the life for me. It might be the life for some people, but I like to have fun on my job. Or whatever I'm doing, I like to have fun.
Okay. So how did you guys go about getting asked to come out to these different places like Florida, Paris? How do they even know y'all?
We didn't get asked. I called.
Let's talk about that. There we go. Let's talk about that. So
we did our own show here in Corsicana a few years ago. It was with the beauty school. We just did a fall fashion show at the beauty school. We did a casting call, invited people out, had people come. So we put on our own little show, and it was amazing. It went really good. And then one of my models, Dallas.
Who's amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna drop a clip of Dallas.
Researching some stuff for a magazine, and we ran across this magazine. I'm not gonna mention the name, but we ran across this magazine, and they were casting for New York Fashion Week. And I was like, oh, that'll be exciting. You know, we need to try to at least attempt to try that and get in there. So we sent pictures in of Dallas, and she got in. So when she got in, I was like, okay, let's see if, you know, how this go, because we never knew. You know, New York Fashion Week back in the day was like, here, you know, if you said New York Fashion Week, you had to be like the top of the top to get in New York Fashion Week. You have to be invited to New York Fashion Week. But so what happened is they were walking for this company, the magazine, and they were looking for models. So they were like, okay, so they sent us the information, and it was like $500, you know, just to enter. I'm like, dang, let's come up with the money. I don't care, let's get her in there. So we came up with the money, we got her in to walk for this certain magazine. We got the tickets, and I was like, who are they walking with? You know, what show are they with? Because there's so many different shows down there. So I kept researching online and Googling everything, going to their magazine, trying to figure out who were they with. So I asked her mom, I said, email them and ask them, you know, where's the show, the date of the show, you know, who's doing the show. And when they sent her the information, I called. I got on the phone, I called them, I explained to them who I was, what I was doing, what I was trying to do. And the lady was so amazed. She was like, I've never had anybody, you know, bring their whole team. Because I told her we bring in the hairstylist, the makeup artist, you know, our own clothes, you know, our own models. She said never have they ever had anybody just put together the whole show themselves and bring it with them. So then we did a casting call. And when I did a casting call, I just put it out there for anybody to show up for the casting call, because we only had like 5 models at the time, and she said we could bring 20. So I did this big casting call for anybody to show up, and we pick and choose. And not to be racist or anything, but the only people that showed up were the Caucasians during the casting call. So I couldn't even take my African American models because they didn't show up. So I ended up taking half Caucasian and my 5 models. So the majority of them were Caucasians, which I have nothing against anybody, but I wanted my people to show up. I really did. So we went, and they invited us back for the second show. Second show we went, they invited us back again. And then she emailed me, she said, we need y'all in Paris. And I was like, Paris? Whew. I Googled Paris and looked up all the information for Paris. I'm like, that's an expensive trip to go to Paris. But that's a trip that we're going to go to. We're going to make it, but we're going to plan it out like a year in advance. So if I have a year in advance to plan out this trip to where we can save money, raise money, do different things. So we're going to put on a few of our own shows here, do a few fundraising, do a few things here to create money. We're already creating money with our magazines. Our kids are going to finish up their books, and once they finish their books up, we're going to create income that way. So we're going to raise money, and what we do, we raise it as a group. So parents do stuff individually, that's fine too, but what for Paris, we're going to do it as a group, because we're going to go out there as a group and represent Corsicana, Texas, in Paris, France. That's the goal.
They would not know where that is. They'll be like, what is that? So you basically seen the opportunity.
And I took it.
And you took it. Let's talk about that. And after we talk about that, I want to talk about, why do you think that our community overlooked that opportunity? Let's talk about you taking your opportunity first.
Because Corsicana has a lot of talent down there, a lot of talent. And when I see talent, I recognize the talent, and I try to let people know, hey, I see you got this, I see you got this going, take it to the next level. But, you can only do so much, before people give you pushback on anything. So, and you can only help so many people. So when I used to do workshops for different photographers to bring them out, try to teach them, because I have a mentor, and he's out of Dallas, and he's taught me everything I know about photography. So I didn't go to school for it or anything. I said, hey, I want to take it to the next level. I don't want to just do family photos. I want to learn how to do editorial photography. So I had to reach out to somebody to see, hey, can you mentor me? And met him. He was like, yeah, I can mentor you. Whatever it costs. He was like, I ain't gonna charge you nothing. So my thing is, I gotta pay it forward. If somebody helped me, I need to help the next person. And that's what I did. Everybody didn't take it the way I thought they would, which is fine and dandy. But I kept it going. And one thing about it, a closed mouth don't get fed. I'm not afraid of no's. All you can do is tell me no. I'm gonna go to the next person. Eventually somebody gonna say yeah. Somebody's gonna tell me yeah, eventually. So it's just up to the individuals, and everybody has that opportunity. And I won't say people are not taking that opportunity there. They just have to think broader than where they're actually at. Some people are so into social media to where they get what do they call it when you get that feeling off somebody liking your stuff? Like, if I don't look at likes, I could care less if one person like my stuff or if 50 people like my stuff. I could care about anything. I don't care about anybody liking anything. I want to see who looked at it, who viewed it. So my views is what matter to me. Likes don't matter. That don't make me feel different, neither one way or the other. I don't care about people sharing my stuff. You don't have to share my stuff as long as I know you looked at my stuff. It doesn't matter. And one thing that really taught me that is I would be out in public, and people would always say, oh, I like what you did. Oh, I saw this and that. And it's people that I will never think that's on Facebook or never think that's on social media. So people are watching when you don't even know they're watching you. And that's the thing. Your character will speak for itself. So you got to make sure you're putting out good content. You got to make sure that attitude, stays the same. And if you're a business person, you got to keep it business. You can't take it personal at all. I see so many people put their feelings into it. And you got to learn how to separate the two. Because if you look at these big corporations, they don't get mad because you don't buy from them or if you don't do this, or they could care less, because it's 100 McDonald's down the same road. It's like it's 100 Burger Kings down the same road. What's their customer service look like? That's what it's about.
So you mentioned earlier that you did a casting call, and not too many, well, pretty much nobody from our community showed up. Why do you think that our community sleep on opportunities? Do you think it's out of fear, or do you think that we just don't dream big enough? What do you think?
I think it could be a little bit of both, but fear plays a big part in it because, like I said earlier, you don't see a lot of African American models at all, and some people think they're too fat, they don't look pretty enough. It all goes back to the self-esteem, and because I even had a few that I reached out to, and those were some of the comments that were relayed back to me, and this day and time, it don't matter your size, your shape, your height, all that don't even play a part in it anymore. If we keep stereotyping and allowing people to put us in one little basket, then we're gonna forever be there in that basket. And you gotta learn to just crawl out of it. Get out of your own way. Most people be in their own way. So I love Corsicana, everything about Corsicana. I think the people, and I'm not gonna just say the young people. It starts with the entire community. When I try to get involved in certain things down there, people just show up. To me, my personal opinion, and they can take it how they want, but sometimes people just show up to show and tell. They just want to dress up and show up. But my thing is, what are you doing? Like the question you're asking me, what are you giving back? What are you doing? How are you helping these young people? What's the opportunity that you're giving people? Not just talk. I hear a lot of talk, but I don't see a lot of action. And a lot of people in my age group, and a lot of males down there, they've stepped up and they've even, expressed the same type of feelings, and they put people on the spot to say, hey, y'all got to get with it. But then we as young people have to also realize the older people, they're tired. They've been doing a lot of things for a long time. It's time for a lot of us to step up and take that initiative and take that role and just take that lead. Don't wait till somebody to ask you to take it. Go and take it. Because it's there, and they want us to take it. Even after the Juneteenth pageant, they asked me to join. I think the Jessa for next year, because the one guy said, these young people need to be a part of what you're doing, and continue is going to keep doing it. And I'm like, yeah, they do. So I'm never going to downplay my city where I'm from, because that's home, and I'm down there every other day at my mom and grandma. People just need to learn to work together and communicate more. It's to me, it's always me, my, why, and trying to outdo somebody versus that. And if I get that feeling of that way, I'll turn around and walk away quietly, because I'm not going to entertain ignorance at all. That's one thing I've learned not to do. I don't care if it's 100 people over here doing modeling or 100 people taking pictures. It don't matter. We all got the same thing, the same goal. Like you say, podcast. I've been on Miss Kelly podcast, before, and it's a nice podcast. I'm glad you invited me on your podcast. So any opportunity that's given to me, I'm gonna try my best to take it. I'm gonna try my best to give back or put in where I can put in at to help not only me grow, but you grow too in what you're actually doing. Sometimes it takes a team effort to get to those points.
Speaking of Miss Kelly, shout out to Barbara Kelly. She called me her mini-me. She always say I'm her mini-me. She trying to get me in a lot of different things. I'm following. I'm doing.
She be everywhere.
Yeah. She's very well connected. So I'm trying to get there. So okay. So the point of my podcast is to inspire others and change lives. If it was one thing you can say right now to inspire someone, what would it be?
Don't take your dreams to your grave. Get up, and if you wake up with an idea, write it down. If you can't do anything with it that day, go back, look at it again, and you just got to get started. Don't think you have to be in a certain position or a certain place or have a certain amount of money to get started. Sometimes it don't take anything to get started at all. Just a dream, a goal, and you have to put in the work. Because my grandmother always told me, you don't work, you don't eat. You know, and every day that stays in the back of my head, and I could hear her in the back of my head saying, you don't work, you don't eat. And not just like if I don't do their work, if I don't do what I know I can do. I mean, I can't lay around to 12, 1 o'clock. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. People be like, when they see my Facebook, they think, oh, she always working, she always doing it. No, I'm not. I'm in bed by 8:30. But they fail to realize that's my only job. So all they see is my job. That's my 9 to 5. I don't see they 9 to 5. They got their 9 to 5 plus they entertaining social media. See, I don't do both. I just do one. So my life is balanced right now. And you just got to put in that work, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I want to start this business. I want to, start this hairline. I want to start, a podcast. Or I want to start taking pictures. Or I want to start doing it. I have so many people reach out to me and say, hey, can you teach me? But guess what? They never show up. I don't know why. Because my door is always open. I've never closed my door to anybody. I've never told anybody no. Ever. I'm willing to help whoever wants to learn. And I might not know everything. And I don't know everything. But what I do know, I can give it to you and, pass it on. Because, it ain't mine. Somebody gave it to me, So I like to pay it forward. I'm not the type of person that, hey, it's mine and I'm not going to share it with you, go get your own. That's not my attitude at all. But I also make sure that I deal with people that's going to be very receptive of any information or anything I give them. Because some people, they'll just come along and they will just try to come along and steal everything you got and take it and run with it. So you kind of have to have that sense of discernment and know how to feel people out also that you deal with. Because you're going to deal with a lot of people every day. Even in what you're doing, you're going to deal with people that's going to want to come in and see what you're doing, how you're doing, regardless of what it is. And I've even seen, I think I've seen you put out where you teach people how to, make t-shirts if they want to make t-shirts. I thought about buying me a machine one time, then I thought I had a second time. I said, no, I'm just going to call somebody. Because I know that's another lane and that's a lot of hard work. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even want to add that onto my plate because my plate is already full. So
see, I'm trying to get that off my plate. That's why I want to be on the back end. I want to have the shop and have work. I don't want to do the work. I want to be the CEO. Right now I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just hustling.
And you gotta, with that, people fail to realize. Most people that are the bosses and they're at the top, they're not the smartest person on their team. They go find the people to put around them to do those specific jobs that need to be done. And then they incorporate it and build that brand. Because if you're building a brand, you're building a business. Depends on what you're trying to build. So if you're building that brand, sometimes it'll take you, like you say, incorporating other people without getting rid of your t-shirt line and what you do with your t-shirts, but just putting people around you and connecting with people that's going to believe in your dream. That's the hard part, because I can sell you something all day long, but if I tell you, hey, just rock with me for like a solid year and let's see if we can get this off the ground together and be on my team, because I can't pay you right now, but hey, I need you. And that's how most people start, because they believe in what somebody else believes in, and they're like, hey, let's make this happen and let's do it together.
I thank God I got those people. I got 3 people right now. They're like, anything you need. I got a caterer, shout out to Tukey. I got a decorator, shout out to Angel. And then I call him my life coach, so shout out to Stu. That's my life coach right there. So he really just, hey, I got my 3 people right now. So we gonna get things together. But thank you so much for coming. I enjoyed it. I would love to see you guys on national TV. You know what I'm saying? And I think I know for a fact that y'all would get there.
You know what I was looking at the other night? I was looking at the awards on BET, and I already told myself, I said, we're gonna walk that runway on BET.
BET?
On the award show.
Let's go.
I put it in my mind, and it was crazy that I said that, and then it was like 30 minutes later, I saw that guy from Pose with a few models walking out there right after that.
Look
I'm
at
like,
God.
I'm like,
You heard me. Look at God. Look at God.
He beat me to the punch, but I'm like, we gonna walk that.
We gonna call it.
That.
So y'all heard it here first. Thank you so much. Hey, and y'all be sure to be on the lookout for the modeling management.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.